Can everyone hear me okay first, actually? Yeah? At the back, can you hear all right? Need me to talk up a little bit? Okay, I'll do my best to talk up a little bit. So, who in the room here is a business owner at the moment? Show of hands. And who would say that they're an entrepreneur soon to launch a new business at some point? And who's an employee in maybe like a marketing role or something like that? So the majority of the room is business owners, it seems. So we'll go down that angle for most of this, but I'll try and cater for everyone and tailor it as we go. So what we're going to talk about is how to rank your site in Google this year. Obviously, we haven't got much left of this year, but also next year as well. So Google is constantly changing its algorithms. So we're going to quickly go through some of that stuff and what's working right now that you can use to push your business forward. So if you would like to give me any feedback on this seminar or anything like that, you can find me on my Twitter handle is James SEO Desk, and if you look for me on Facebook, it's James Nicholson Business. So if you want to like me or tweet at me, any feedback would be really, really appreciated on the seminar. So follow that if you can. Okay, so we're going to go through a quick few details. So we're going to go through who I am, why you should get your business online. We're going to go through some of the updates, and then we're going to give you some techniques that will help you get your business on page 1 of Google, which is obviously why you're all here today. So just quickly, a little bit about me. So my name's James Nicholson. I've been working in digital marketing for the last 8 years, which, although I'm 33, makes me almost pretty much a veteran in a fairly new industry. I've worked on thousands and thousands of keywords now on Google in optimizing those in attaining page 1 results. I work with businesses of all shapes and sizes. So I work with companies in the FTSE 100, but also a lot of small local businesses. So feedback sometimes I get is, often I use Plumber as an example on how you can use these techniques to push your website forward. Forget that I'm talking about a plumber, just try and rephrase that to whatever your business is, because there's hundreds of you here and you've all got totally different businesses. So just forget, like I said, whatever we're talking about, relate that back to your business. So I run SEO Desk. We've been around for 5 years, so I've got previous digital marketing experience prior to that. We're currently in a rebrand stage at the moment, so we're rebranding as Digital Marketing Desk at the moment, just because we offer more products and services, and there's lots of different things out there in the market that we feel complement search engine optimization. So quickly, I'm just going to give you an idea on why you should get your business online. So print media is declining. The zero, you'll have to forgive me, like it just didn't work in the PowerPoint this morning, but print media is declining. So things, when we're talking about print media, we're talking about all types of print media. So I'm talking about newspapers, I'm talking about the Yellow Pages magazine, etc. And 9 out of 10 households nowadays are looking for products and services online. So whatever your business is, people are looking for your products or services online. Even if you're a garden centre with a physical store, people are looking for your phone number, your address, or even if they don't know which garden centres are in the local area, they will be looking for your products and services online. 95% of users only choose results on page 1 of Google. So quick show of hands, if anyone here does a Google search, I'm sure everybody's probably done one today. Would you agree that you all go to just page 1? Does everybody pretty much stay on page 1? So what that means is it's really important that your business is found on page 1 for relevant key phrases that are going to drive traffic and business to your website. 80% of users click on the organic results. So have a quick show of hands. If you do a Google search, how many people click on the adverts on Google? Yeah, so quite only 2 or 3 of you there. How many would click on the organic results down the middle of the page? So it's most people, most of the time, will click on the organic results. The reason for that is people trust the organic results a lot more. They're often more relevant. So for example, if you search for kitchen company in Dorking, which is where I'm from, you would get companies like IKEA would be on page 1. You would get companies like B&Q would be on page 1 as well via advertisements. They don't have a physical presence in Dorking, and the people of Dorking, it's fairly clear you don't have an IKEA in town because they're pretty big, you can't really miss them. So what that means is that people will trust the organic results. If you look at the organic results, you will generally see local businesses or some of the multinational businesses, but they will have stores in that location, and that's one reason why people trust those a lot more. I'm just going to give you a quick idea just how big Google is at the moment. So Google is obviously a behemoth, it's absolutely huge. Every single month Google gets 140 billion searches, and that's growing still. It used to grow at a crazy rate, hundreds of %, but now it's still growing and it will continue to grow. So what you need to look at when you're thinking about Google is how could they possibly grow any more? We're coming a lot more connected. So previously when I've done these seminars, for a couple of years now, I've told people that Apple will release a watch, and it never happened. Every 6 months I was like, well, the watch will come, it will come. And finally Apple has announced that watch is launching in early January or February. Those sorts of devices will have a search facility. So you will be able to connect to the internet, you will be able to find products and services using this stuff. So it's really, really important that you guys focus on getting your business online. TomTom sat-navs, they have connections to Google now. They have Google local search implemented into the TomToms. The next big thing is TV. TV is not really taken off yet. TV has taken off obviously, but smart, intelligent TVs are not quite where they need to be. We have apps for Netflix and stuff like that, but we will have much more interactivity with these TVs in the future. So we will be able to do searches on products and services related to adverts that we've seen. And also we will be able to do searches for local things. So if you're watching a football game, you'll be able to order a pizza from your TV while the show is still going on without using another device. So local businesses can benefit from that as well. So if you had a local restaurant, obviously that would be really important to be found on Google. The search volume is equating to a day is 4.6 billion searches every single day. That's 191 million searches every single hour. Now 50% of these searches now have what we call local intent. And what I mean by local intent is a search, for example, for a local business. So a garage in Dorking, a plumber in Dorking, a pizza shop in Dorking. And that's growing. It used to be quite a small amount because obviously yellow pages used to dominate the local marketplace. But now Google has put a real focus on local businesses, and they have teams of people going out there to attract local advertisers to their AdWords program, and people are constantly using Google for local searches. So if you have a local business, understand people are looking for your products and services right now. 40% of searches at the moment, you get different stats on this all over the place, but approximately 40% of searches at the moment are mobile searches. This is expected by the end of next year to be more than 50%. So who in the room's got a smartphone? Yeah, I think that's everyone pretty much. So everyone pretty much has a smart device with them, and often they'll search on that multiple times. Obviously when we're at an exhibition like this, we're using our smartphones constantly to look for products, services, directions, all sorts of things via Google. So that's important to understand. And what you also need to understand is in the Google, like the searches on an iPhone and on an iPad, they have a new thing that they're rolling out at the moment where they tell you before you even click to the site whether it is a mobile friendly site. Has anyone seen that? So sometimes they'll have a little green phone icon, sometimes it has grey writing saying mobile. They're testing that. Some people will see it, some people won't see it. Depends on the searches and stuff like that. And what that's indicating to you is whether that site is mobile friendly. So a key part of search engine optimization in the next few years is going to be mobile. you need to have a mobile optimized site, or you run the risk of not being able to rank in the search engine, or you may only rank for a desktop search. And if you think about 50% plus of the traffic is going to be mobile, then you're going to have a big problem if you don't have that ready. So if you don't have a mobile optimized site, I would suggest you look at getting that implemented into your business as soon as possible. More so, you should look at what's called a responsive website, which means it can work on a mobile, an iPad, and it will be future-proof, ready for any devices that come out in the future. So that's one tip. Look to make sure your site is mobile responsive. So 93% of the searches that happen on a mobile are Google. So on a desktop, it's 70%. So there's a big difference. Mobile phones like iPhones and obviously Android phones have Google set as the mobile search provider by default. So that's a key thing as well, to make sure, obviously, more importance is focusing on getting that mobile site ready for your business. Sorry, so 90% in the UK is a Google search on desktops and all the devices combined. In America and other places, it's around 70%. So, but Bing is pushing as well to try and obviously gain a bit more market share. There is news coming out that, does anybody here use Firefox as a browser? Yeah? Show of hands, how many of you use Firefox? Okay, so how many use Chrome, Google Chrome? So that's 50-50 at the moment. Firefox is doing a deal at the moment with Yahoo Search. So Yahoo Search in the next few months will be the default search engine on Firefox, sorry. So there's a potential that Yahoo could have a chance of fighting back a little bit, but some people will just change it back to Google, but there's obviously that those numbers could change. Just want to quickly give you an idea on how big Yell is. So who still advertises on Yell? Okay, so 2, 3. Yell is struggling. You probably know that. The search volumes are really, really low. They get around 400 visitors every single day. They have more advertisers than that, so that's one search per day pretty much, per person. They were basically in the Google updates and stuff like that. There's updates called Panda and Penguin. Yell's been kicked sometimes in those updates and has less visibility on the search engines. They get less searches than Google gets in 1 minute, so it's a huge difference. And 30% drop in their traffic in 2013. So they're struggling. So you need to, if you're relying on Yell and you're not doing anything on Google, you need to focus and move your strategy across to looking on Google as an option as well. So just quickly, I just want to make this really clear where organic results get you. So can everyone see that box around SEO for estate agents there? So that is where the Google organic results start. So any of the ones with the yellow ad sign, they're obviously Google AdWords, and the ones on the right-hand side are Google AdWords as well. So when we're talking about organic results, we're talking about the ones down the middle of the page. Okay, so enough of that. So you guys are here to know how to get there. Obviously, that's a key reason why you've turned up today. So I'm going to quickly run through some of the things that Google is looking at. This is not an exhaustive list. There's a lot more. And you need to concentrate on doing things by Google's guidelines, or you can get your site banned by Google. So the first part is called on-page SEO, or on-page optimization. And the first thing that Google will look at is meta tags. So meta tags are small, like for example, key phrases that are in the page. They used to be very, very relevant to how a page would rank. They're now not so relevant, but you may as well, as a point of good housekeeping, just get those done. They're pretty easy to do. If you have a WordPress site, there's plugins and you can just fill those in. Every single page should be different, and we'll go through that in a bit. Meta descriptions are important as well. You need to get the keyword density. So you need to identify a key phrase that you want to rank for, and you need to make sure that you have less than 5% density for that key phrase. Now, Google has new updates that have rolled out that they will look at. For example, if you have the words pizza shop in your page, they will know if somebody searched for pizza company that they're similar searches, that you should come up for both of those. But you need to make sure you don't have the keyword in there too much, because then you're spamming the page. Alt tags are in images. So an alt tag helps people with like disabilities with sight. So the point of an alt tag is so if someone scrolls over an image, that they can be told what that image is about. Google and the search engines also use that, because that tells them obviously what that image is about as well, so they can understand. So if you put in alt tags, you can come up in the Google image search and stuff like that. You should name your images correctly as well. And title tags, they're really important. We're going to go through some examples of that as well. So meta tags are often also called meta keywords. So they're short, punchy keywords, and they're separated by a comma. An example, so if you're a plumber in London, you'd have John Smith Plumbers, comma, Plumber London, comma, plumbing in London. So it's important to get the comma in the right place here. So if you wanted to rank for Plumber London in this example, you wouldn't put plumber, comma, London, plumber, near, plumber, John Smith, or whatever. And this stuff, as I was saying, used to be very important. It's not so important anymore, but you should still do it as just a good housekeeping and keeping your site in order. Now, meta tags or meta keywords, every single page that you build should have separate meta tags or meta keywords. So that's important to understand. So if, for example, you're a business with multiple locations, estate agents we come across often have this, then you need to build a page for your Kingston branch. You need to build a separate page for your Littlehampton branch, for example, and then you need to focus on getting those keywords optimized for the actual page that you're trying to rank for. Meta description. Now, the meta description is important for a number of reasons. It's your first opportunity to sell your products or services. So it helps the search engine clearly understand what you're about, but it also helps the user. So it's great if you've got direct sales language in there that will encourage a click to the site. That really can help people to obviously click through. So you imagine if you had a site that was fifth and it was the first one that said click here for more information, or a free guide, or something that makes you want to jump onto that page and find out more information depending on what your product or service is. So that's important, that you've got an opportunity there to write a sentence to get somebody there. You should try and include key phrases that you want to rank for in there. Again, don't spam it. So the key phrase should maybe be in there once, twice, absolute tops. So for a plumber in London, you could have John Smith Plumber, or should be plumbers, or a family firm based in London. We cover all plumbing services in the London area. So that's natural. That's a natural sentence that you would expect if someone wasn't trying to game the search engine, that they would put a sentence along those lines. So you've got to think about your user here. Don't just think about Google or trying to rank high on Google, because that's the sort of stuff that gets you banned. You want to get stuff that's going to be useful for your user. It tells the person exactly what your page is about. If you've got a free guide or an offer or something like that, maybe include that in there, because that's a call to action. They're more likely to click on there. If somebody clicks on your result from the search engine results pages, then the next time they do that search, if they were logged into their Google account, which there's a high chance they would be if they've got analytics or AdWords or something along those lines, you will show higher. There's a chance you will be, even if you were 10th, there's a chance on the second time they search for that, you could be number one if you were the only site that they clicked on, because Google knows that that was the relevant site to you. You found that site relevant. And if you interacted with that well, then obviously you will get higher. And that's called personalized search. That's only for that one person, not for everybody. Some people think that Google in the future will include that possibly in the algorithm. So if they see thousands of people clicking on the 10th result all the time, then there's a good chance that that 10th result will get a push higher up the search engines. But don't think that you should Google the key phrases that you want to rank for and just click on your own results all the time. Google's not stupid. it knows your IP address, it knows everything about you. So there's no point doing that. No point getting your mum that's 100 miles away to do it. Maybe get 1 or 2 mates locally to do something like that, but it's absolutely crazy to just do that. And lots of people think it's about the number of clicks that you get higher up, but it's nothing to do with that. Okay, title tag. Think of a title tag as like a newspaper headline. So again, this is your opportunity to get the person interested in your product and service. You really want these people to click to your site, and then you've got the chance to show them what you're about. So the title tag, as I said, is important. A good title tag would be along the lines of John Smith Plumbers, your family plumbing firm based in London. So it should have your keywords in there. It should have like a selling point. So this company in this example is a family-based plumbing firm. If you can use the words click or encourage them, or if there's a free guide or an offer on that page or something along the lines that's going to get a click through, then you're going to get rewarded for that by Google. You're going to get rewarded in the personal search because that person will see you higher up the next time. So it's important. A headline, similar to email marketing, the most important thing on email marketing is the headline. You can have the best content in your email. If your headline is awful, nobody is going to click on your email. You could have the biggest secret in the world with the worst headline. So make sure you really work on good quality title tags for your site. Okay, so that sort of stuff is called on-page optimization. That's a few little things that you should look at. Then you need to look at each individual page. All the key phrases that you want to rank for, you should have a separate page for those, really, ideally. Some you can bulk like 4 or 5 key phrases to a page, but ideally you should look to have separate ones. You need to look at as well the text on the page. Remember, we're saying the keyword density needs to be low. Does anyone here have an e-commerce site? Yeah? So e-commerce is bloody hard. Like, you're in one of the toughest industries out there. Everyone thinks e-commerce is easy because you can set a site up for a few £100 or a good quality site for a few £1,000. So the barrier to entry to e-commerce is low. Getting sales on e-commerce is tough. If you have an e-commerce site, you need to ensure, if possible, that your content for your product is unique. So if you sell Sony headphones, you are in a difficult industry because Google will not show 10 people with exactly the same search engine, with exactly the same text on the page, because it's useless for the user. The user at that stage may as well just go to a price comparison site. So there's one retail company that does exceptionally well, who was a small independent that's grown, this company called World Stores. Has anyone heard of those guys? They're pretty big. They have a niche site for every product that they sell. They have a website just about rabbit hutches. They have a website that's about pillows and another one that's about duvets. So they're very, very focused. World Stores? World Stores. So if you look on World Stores, you can see a link to all their sites. And they've done that for a reason. So each site is seen as unique. Every product description, they have a team of content writers that will focus on writing unique content for each page. So that's hard work, really hard work, but you get the benefits from that because you're one in a million then. You're the one unique result. So that's useful to a user. So Google will give you some credibility for that. So these things contribute to the on-page optimization. So that's you waving to Google and you're saying, hey, Google, look at me, I'm a plumber in Dorking. But there's 50 plumbers in Dorking, right? So who cares? Why should you rank? So any of those plumbers could have done this optimization, maybe even all of them. They may have all done this. So what Google is then looking at is who else thinks you're a plumber in Dorking. And what they're looking at is what's called your link profile then. They're looking at who else links to your site. The more sites that link to you, the higher up you will go up the search engine. So, and the way that we will get those links we'll explain now for you. So it's still the most important ranking factor. It's slightly less. What's really important is the quality of the links. So the way that you can get links is via social media. So I would hope that everyone that has a website has a Facebook page. If you haven't, you're lazy. Like, there's absolutely no excuse. It's the easiest thing in the world to set up and it costs you nothing. You don't even have to bother putting the images on it if you don't want. You should to make it look good, but you should just at least build your Facebook page and have some activity on that. Link to that from your website. So put a link to your Facebook page, and then Google combines the two, and it's like you've got a pulse. So your site might sit there for 5 years and you might not update it. How does Google know whether you're still in business? I have no idea. Just because you've still got hosting doesn't mean you're alive. Your website company might have forgotten to turn off because you haven't paid them or whatever. So the social media shows that you're alive. It's like a pulse. Twitter is the same. It's very simple. So every now and again, put some links back to your site with some promotions and stuff like that, and look to engage people on Facebook. Press releases. Google did a big update where they said that press releases are not great for search engine optimization anymore. Matt Cutts is the main guy in charge of the Google algorithm there. And that is true to a point. So when we're talking about press releases, we're talking about paid distribution. You should never use a free press release site anymore. They used to be brilliant because obviously they were free, but now you should look at sites, for example, PR Web is a good one. PR Web will provide a link to you that is called a no-follow link. And basically what that means is that it won't pass much credibility across to you to push you up the search engines, but it's a normal thing that you should be doing. So you need some of these no-follow links. If you wanted to promote your business, it's natural to look at doing PR to promote your business. So you need to be doing things that Google would expect a traditional business would be doing to promote its business. So some of these things won't massively boost you up, but you need some of these things as well. Also, PR is great because you will get picked up by other companies. Other news sites will pick you up. That's the point of a press release. So they will write about you, they will talk about your business and your products and your services, and they will link back to you. So that's one of the main reasons that you use press releases. So you're not looking to game Google with fake press release sites or anything like that anymore. You're looking at it as a normal way to grow your business, and in return you will get links from that. Directory submissions is key, massively important. Directory submissions got hammered in the Penguin update. So when I'm talking about directory submissions, I'm talking about top quality directory sites. Like, I'm not talking about a free directory that you've never heard of, that the design looks awful. I'm actually talking about, although I've said Yale's not great, get a free listing in Yale. You can be in Yale.com for free. Get yourself on Yelp, get yourself on Scoot, get yourself on Touch Local. All of these sites, all these different places that you see people do reviews, Trustpilot and places like that. Get yourself in there on a free listing. You will get hammered by salespeople trying to sell you a premium listing. You don't need that. It won't have any benefits to you. So just get rid of them as quick as you can and keep the free listing, unless the strategy of being in there might be useful for your business as another marketing method. Blogging is important as well. So blogging on your own site is important. So the reason for that, again, it shows life on your site. You've got good content on there. People will come back. They'll read your content, and they're used to knowing that every week you put some articles out and you're the go-to place to find out the news and stuff like that. So you can talk about local news, you can talk about charitable things that you do. We do crazy stuff on our blog. We did something on there which I don't know if anyone here saw, but at Easter we played Chubby Bunnies and we videoed it, and we got that featured in the local newspaper. So the local newspaper provided a link to us. It wasn't the greatest story in the world, but it worked. It cost us £2 to buy the sweets to play Chubby Bunnies, and then nothing to send off a press release. You know, the Dorking Advertiser, they struggle for stories. They talk about hedgehogs getting run over, and literally, seriously, hedgehogs getting run over and stuff like that, or someone stole a sign outside a shop. That's big news in Dorking. So they're struggling for stories to put out there. So anyone's business here could get featured in their local papers. That's a great place to get a link, but provide them somewhere to link to. So put a story on your blog or something like that. Everybody here is at the biggest business show in the country at the moment. This show's huge. There's no bigger business show that I'm aware of in this country. So you could twist the story that you attended it, and you got loads of stuff out of it. Or if some of you might be exhibitors here, you should be telling your local newspaper that you're exhibiting here. They're struggling for stories, so give them some news and they will link back to you. Articles as well is a great way. So articles in other article sites, that got hit hard like PR. You need to look at decent places to put that. Places like Tumblr, like Reddit, like Dig. proper established brands, not free article sites. Although those are all free, there's other ones that will say free article directories and stuff like that. Avoid those like the plague. Paid ones can be good if they seem like a good quality site, but you should always do some due diligence on it. One of the best ways, this is probably the best way to rank a site on Google. So if you want to rank for plumber Dorking, what you would do is you'd look at who's number one for plumber Dorking. You'd take their website address and then you would check the backlinks that they've got. There's loads of backlink tools out there that can do that for you. So you literally put into a backlink tool, put in the website address, and it will tell you all the links that your competitor has got. That's the first place that you should start. Go out there and get the links that your competitor's got, and then when you've got all of those, get some more. Then you've got more than that person, and you are then the better, more authoritative site in that industry. So that's a great tip. To find out how to get backlinks, if you went to Google and did a search for free backlink tool, along those sorts of lines, you would find some. The free ones are good. There's obviously going to be better ones that are paid, but you should try those out and you'll get there, especially if you're a local search. If you're in a local market, the free ones should be good enough. If you're a national company, you might look to invest and pay around £50 a month for one of those products or services. You could use it for a month or two and then cancel. Trade bodies and suppliers. So nearly every, you have to have a product to have a business pretty much. So if, for example, you sold Sony headphones, then call Sony up and say, hey, look, I sell your headphones. Put me on your supplier list on your website. Put me on your where to buy. Like, you're doing them a favor. You're selling their products and services. Get them to do you a favor. Make sure you're listed on those places because they're highly authoritative sites. So being listed on those will boost your credibility. And even if you're buying from a small wholesaler, they might not have a where to buy, but they need to get established. Force them, push them into it. Say, look, hang on, John, I'm selling your product here. Get me listed as one of your official suppliers. You'll get website traffic from that. So if someone finds their own site, you'll get traffic, which is obviously a bonus. And also you'll get credibility in Google. So there's two benefits of doing that. Social marketing as well. So Dig and Reddit is similar to like the article sites. Tumblr and places like that. You can distribute your content in those sorts of places. YouTube is an absolutely incredible place to get a link from. Like, it really is. YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world. So most people think it's Yahoo or Bing, but it's actually YouTube officially. That's owned by Google obviously as well. So when you make a video, you have an opportunity to put a description below it. If you want to see any examples of that, have a look on our site and go to our YouTube channel and you'll see how we do that. So link back to the story. If you embed a video on your page, in the description, some people will find it on the page, obviously, on your blog or wherever. Some people will find it on YouTube. So make sure the people on YouTube can go to your site. So again, like the trade bodies, you're driving traffic to your site. You're also boosting your search engine credibility as well. And also, lastly, there's a company, it's not so relevant anymore, but there's a bunch of geeks that own a website called Demos, and basically it's a free resource that you can list your site in. It's a human edited directory. There's still things like that around, believe it or not. And so what happens is you list yourself in the category that's most relevant to you, and then eventually a geek will decide whether you're in or not. And if you're in, because it's human edited, Google trusts it. So it's a good place. Okay, and lastly, we'll have to whiz through this because we're running short on time. But Penguin was one of the biggest updates that happens pretty much yearly now for the last 4 years. Now, if you get hit by Penguin, like your online life's over. Like, it's really serious to get hit by Penguin. It's really hard to recover from. People do, but it's really, really hard. In my opinion, other people will say differently. If you've been hit by Penguin, start again. Build a brand new website and start again. The money and time that you're investing to try and fix a Penguin problem could be 4 or 5 months. Why not build a new site, get there back within a few months? Like that would be my suggestion. So when we're doing this link building, the Penguin update is looking at the links. So if you do poor quality links, you will get hit by the Penguin update. So what we're talking about there is when we talked about directory submissions for citations, if you use loads of free directories, you will get hit. You will massively get hit with updates, and they will ban you from it. If you use lots of the free press release sites, you've got the opportunity to get hit again. So Google doesn't want you doing search engine optimization. It needs you to do it because it needs good results for its users, and generally people are only trying to rank for key phrases that are relevant to their business. In times gone by, it wasn't quite like that so much. People just wanted traffic. Now people understand it's hard to get there, so they focus on relevant key phrases. But you need to be really, really focused on that and not put like poor quality links to your site. So it's an over-optimization penalty. It's getting rid of like poor quality on the internet, and you'll also get hit if you do link spam or use link networks, for example. So there's a company that, if you search for SEO, offers a service via AdWords. They advertise on page 1 of Google, which is ironic, I think, that they will get you on page 1 of Google for £50. And you pay £50 a quarter, I think it is. And what they do is they put thousands of links to your site. Like if you do that, you literally may as well turn your website off. You're not going to get any ranks. It's not a good decision to do that. So a link needs to be valuable for a user. So like a newspaper link is useful, a PR link is useful. To be seen in Yale.com is useful, to be seen in Yelp and all these other places. They're useful links to have. Like link networks and link farms were similar to what I was talking about there. So there's places that you used to be able to buy thousands of links for a few $100s and put those out. When you're doing links, you should link with your brand name. So we also, in Penguin, they looked at people that, for example, were using their key phrase as the text that they were trying to link for. So when you go on a website, you know where it says click here. The word says click here, but you go to amazon.co.uk if you click on it, for example. That word click here is called anchor text. So when you're trying to rank, you need a small percentage of them to say plumber dorking. It used to be that you needed all of them to say that, but now, because that's clearly that you're doing that for search engine optimization, you need a tiny amount, 1 or 2% or less. Like it needs to be a really small amount. So your links should have your brand name in them. So for example, if you're John Smith Plumbers, it should be John Smith Plumbers or www.johnsmithplumbers.co.uk. You should be linking with something like that. Or the word click here, that's a fairly natural thing to have on a page. Click here for more info. It's not unnatural to have that sort of text on there. So yeah, I suggest that's really important, and citations is key as well. So that's pretty much it. I'll be around for a couple of questions. What I'd like to ask you is, did anyone find that useful today? Yeah? If you found it useful and you've learned something and you'd like to get a little bit of promotion yourself, if you're happy to have a quick chat with Richard there and just give us a testimonial with some feedback on how you thought this session was, we'll feature you on Rocket Marketing Hub. So you'll have an embedded video there with your logo on it and your web address, which might grab you some traffic. And you'll get mail shotted out to my database, which is now 150,000 people, when we're looking to push that through to sell that when it goes live. So a little bit of a benefit. And if anyone has any questions, do come up to the front and I'll see if I can help you. Thanks.